morning, my friends. Today we're gonna make something that I long and I love so much. I grew up eating it in the streets in Palestine, and it's shawarma. Now shawarma has many recipes from all around the region over there. I tried to create the spices that resemble what I used to eat growing up. The main ingredient is meat. It can be a combination of meat and lamb. Some people, they do it today with chicken as well, and so many other things. But it is a skewer, a big skewer that rolls, and the grill cooks the surface of that meat as it goes round. Now I have a version that we can do at home. I'm using beef today. You can again use a combination, beef and lamb will work. For the marinade for the meat, right now, what we will need is a combination of spices that most of you have already in your pantry. They are not very difficult to obtain. I have here half a teaspoon sweet paprika, half a teaspoon turmeric, half a teaspoon cloves. I added also half a teaspoon of garam masala, which is it complements all the other flavors together because it's a combination of different spices that complement those spices that I'm using. So I think it's gonna really add a great and enhance the flavor. I have also half a teaspoon of ground coriander, quarter of a teaspoon cumin, quarter of a teaspoon cinnamon, half a teaspoon black pepper, half a teaspoon salt, and you can add or subtract according to your taste. I have also quarter of a teaspoon oregano, half a teaspoon ground ginger, and this is for those who you like spice. It's an eighth of a teaspoon cayenne, and this is optional. If you're using combination of lamb and beef, mostly you're gonna have enough fat to make the marinade get together well. If not, add a little oil. I add olive oil normally, and a tablespoon or two red wine vinegar. That makes everything start working within the meat, and it tenderizes the meat if it needs it. Now regarding cutting the meat, I bought the meat already very thinly sliced from the butcher. It's stacked on top of each other, and it's slightly frozen because it makes it much easier to thinly slice it. So what I'm gonna do is, with a sharp knife, I will slice these partially frozen, already thin sliced meat into long thin strips, and that will make the meat cook very fast, and it will give me the same look like when we buy it from the big skewer in the streets. I will add all the spices in, and now regarding the salt, as you are cooking it, you can taste and adjust. I put all the spices now into this. I will also add a tablespoon and two vinegar and some olive oil, and so about 2 to 3 tablespoons olive oil. And now the best thing is just to go with your hand and just make sure to massage all the meat into all those flavors that we just added. And you can eye it. If you think you need a little bit more olive oil because your meat is super lean, then add. But I suggest to try and get something that is a cut that is a little bit more fatty. And if you can add lamb to it, it's gonna be awesome as well. Okay, at this point, I will let it just sit in the fridge for at least half an hour to an hour, and then we will be cooking it and assembling it with a lot more flavors that will top this delicious shawarma meat. So on top of the shawarma meat, normally people put sauces. There are two sauces that go with that. It's either you use tahini, which I'm gonna show you how to make, really whipping it easy. And the traditional sauce that I grew up with and I love is pickled mango. And here in the United States, I couldn't find the puree, the sauce. So what I found is pickled mangoes. So what I decided to do is just to blend it in my magic bullet. So we're starting with the tahini. I have some tahini here. It's about 1/3 of a cup with a little bit of salt. I will add some freshly squeezed lemon juice, about 1.5 teaspoons, and also a little bit of water, about 1 tablespoon, 2 tablespoons, and then we'll adjust because to make it a sauce, the tahini has to be a little runny, not too thick. You can do it thick or runny. In this situation, we need it a little runny. We'll blend. Now that the sauce has become as runny as I wish it to be, adding enough water, we'll pour it into the bowl that is gonna be used. Okay, now I'm gonna whip my Amba sauce, which is the pickled mango, since I don't have it, the sauce version. I have the pieces version. I'm gonna make it into paste. So into this, I will add a little bit water, but since my water is at room temperature, I thought I can also add 1 cube of ice. And I will blend and see. So now that I achieved a really smooth and nice sauce, it is very intense in flavor, but deliciously intense. I will pour it into a bowl and get my things ready for the time of assembling. I will put a little bit of olive oil at the bottom of the pan and see how it's smoky. Now I put the meat, and don't overcrowd the pan with the meat. Make sure you have a thin layer because you don't want to steam it, you want to grill it in a way. Now keep mixing. And because the meat is so tender and thin, sliced, it cooks very, very fast. And here you go. This is the first batch. Now I'm gonna add the second batch. And literally, it doesn't take more than 3 minutes to cook. Make sure to continue to have your heat on very high. Now, my friends, it's time to assemble. Now that my shawarma meat is cooked, and you should smell the beautiful smell that we have, the topping that traditionally go on top is thinly sliced onions that we add some of the sumac, and we put a little bit of olive oil, and we just try to get it together and mush a little bit the onions because you want those juices to assemble with the olive oil and the sumac. The way to assemble: I have here Greek pita bread, but as I said, you can do pocket pita or even tortilla. Into that, I will put some of the meat in the middle, just like this. You can put as much or as little as you wish. You add your favorite sauce. My favorite is this, so I'm gonna add this. a little bit, not too much of this because this is really intense. Some of the onions. Just like that. Some tomatoes. And some parsley. I will put this down just like this. And some parsley, not chopped, but like pulled like that. And a couple of pickles. I like carrots, so I'll go for the carrots. And you can leave the pickles to eat on the side as well. And then you wrap it just like this, and it should be heavenly.